Okay, so here's the thing, my mini rant of today. I've been struggling ever since I've got out of high school. I've been struggling with concentration, consistency, staying at one thing at a time. And in high school I could just go, I breezed past high school and middle school because I could just absorb information really, really quickly. And now, once I started getting into studying in college and university, and I got hit by books of 600, 700, sometimes 1,000 pages long, it hit me like a wall of bricks, sorry, that I just couldn't put up the effort not to retain. I could retain information, what I read, but just to get me through that thick of a book. And I've started therapy when it was actually too late, only in my 5th year of going to university and doubling 3 or 4 classes, actually tripling 1 classes. That was the main reason I got into therapy. And none of the therapists really said what it was about, but in a roundabout way, right? Until I got to the therapist I'm at today. And in the first session, she just sprinkled a little bit of, she didn't have say you could have ADD. She said very specifically, just so I think to cover her ass, she said very specifically, you show the signs of ADD. You show you show a lot of signs. Certain amount of signs of ADD. She never said I could have had ADD, but she said I show a lot of signs of ADD, and that sat with me. Because in that first session, I said, when she asked me, do you want an official diagnosis? And I was like, I don't think that's gonna change anything, right? I actually do my life. I live my life ever since I got kicked out of university the first time. I actually fill in my life as if I were to have ADD, or I try to at least. And now we're at the point that I'm finally finishing off another degree, which I wasn't even planning on getting, which is bookkeeping. But I still feel like there is a lot of tank in me left to actually go back to medicine, right? Med school. Except I'm afraid of falling into the same pitfalls as last time, not being able to concentrate just enough to get through a book of 1,000 pages long, right? Now last week I met with I'm sorry, that's my calendar. Last week I met with an ex co-student of mine from med school, and I knew he was the first out of my friend group that actually had to go through a diagnosis with ADD, but I never really understood what that meant for him, right? So we got to talking, and I explained him I'm looking forward to get started again with med school, and hearing him talk about how he is doing emergency medicine, and how he's always in the ICU and likes. I was like, that sounds amazing, and the hours, I don't really care about the hours. I barely sleep anyway. But I'm afraid of falling into the same problems of not being able to concentrate, blah blah blah. Then he started talking about his Ritalin, and I think in America it's Ritalin, or more commonly known as I can't get out the name, but one of those ADHD drugs, right? And he told me that it helped him a lot. And that got me to thinking, and I might actually just hit my therapist up and ask for those tests anyway, just so I could have a prescription from the doctor and actually start on Ritalin. because now that I'm at wit's end, I know I could still get there if I work hard enough, but I think it's gonna make things a lot easier. And he told me he doesn't use it when he's not studying. So for his work, he never uses it. He's just active, and his work accommodates his ADD a lot because he works in emergency medicine. So he has new cases all the time. He gets stimulated a lot during the day. New stimuli every 15 minutes. So it's perfect for him. I don't have the ambition for emergency medicine, but I do see myself doing becoming an eye doctor. So all this to say is, I feel like getting to the diagnosis. I feel like actually not getting to the diagnosis, but having someone in your life that can pinpoint you to your focus, or can pinpoint you to, if you want to get this and you saw these signs, you should get this. Because if someone would have told me, I see you struggle with concentration, I see you struggle with just things related to school in general, because all the other things I was very passionate about, and medicine is not something you can just breeze through without any sort of help or any sort of concentration help. You should get yourself tested, because it was my therapist that actually dropped the knowledge. From my own perspective, I already was thinking about getting a diagnosis, but I just never got around to it because I might have ADD. And hearing her say, hearing a people with some kind of power over me, authority, hearing someone with some kind of authority talk about ADD and suggesting that I might have ADD really made something turn in my head. So I'm gonna get that diagnosis, and I hope it's just gonna help me get to where I am on a quicker pace, instead of this double take, triple take that I sometimes have to do when not only doing things but also just trying to study things. It's never a problem of remembering, it's always a problem of getting to start and getting it from the first time. Well, I can get it from the first time depending on what I'm studying, but just keeping the consistency, that's mainly the problem. Alright, that was my little rant. Yeah, we'll talk soon. Bye.